Hello, I'm Helen from Journal with Purpose and welcome to my latest YouTube video. Today I'm going to be sharing a quick flip through of my bullet journal pages from June and my setup for July. I always worry a bit that these videos tend to be really quite similar each month when I'm sharing my bullet journal, and that's because I've got into such a routine and rhythm with my planning in my journals that there really isn't very much that I change anymore. I occasionally add some new collections, new pages if I've got projects that I want to focus on, but I guess the kind of main structure behind my planning stays the same every single month. But I've also had quite a few of you say how much you enjoy these and look forward to them, so I'll continue sharing these videos and I really hope you enjoy it. I keep my bullet journal inside this personalised etched cover from Start Bay Notebooks. And the journal that I'm using is a dotted Rhodia Gold book. And I've actually nearly come to the end of this one now. I started it back in January, so I'm really pleased that it's lasted me 6 months. So I'll start off by sharing my pages from June. And this is my cover page for the month. This is my calendar. And I use this to make a note of anything that I've got coming up, so deadlines, appointments, things like that. But also each evening I write just down a quick line or note of things that I've been doing that day. And I really like how that gives me a good record by the end of the month, really, of how I've spent my time. And these are my main tasks that I've set myself to do this month. And then right at the end of the month, I'll write down my social media numbers and do a quick review of how the month has gone. Behind that, I've got my master task list. So this is all the things I want to do in different categories. So this is for Journal with Purpose. So I tend to put down here things that I need to do for Patreon each month and different projects that I'm working on, perhaps as collaborations and YouTube videos. I've then got a list for social to try and remind me to share different posts on Instagram, HR work, and then things for me and around the home. I've also got a little post-it here with some creative projects that I'm working on. I didn't want to keep writing them out each month, but I'm trying to encourage myself to actually finish them one at a time rather than just keep dipping in and out of different projects. And my latest art journal is nearly complete. I've got one more page, so I will then share a flip through of that here. So yeah, I'm just trying to stay a bit more focused with the different projects I'm working on because I have a habit of starting so many different things. This is my gratitude log, so every evening I write down about 1 or 2 lines of things that I'm grateful for from that day. And then this is my habit tracker for the month as well. So this bottom bit is to kind of keep an eye on how often I'm posting on various social media and other platforms and sending out newsletters. And then these are some of the key habits that I want to make sure I'm staying on top of throughout the month. So quite a lot of these things I do in the evening. I just check off the lists and fill out these pages, but it probably only takes me about 5 minutes an evening just to keep on top of these things. My Be Proud page, this is where I just offer myself a little bit of praise for things that have gone well during the day so that I don't spend my evening focusing on things I didn't get done or that I'm worried about. So again, just another line or two. This is my 1 line a day, so a bit different to my calendar where I'm writing down things that I've been working on. This could be anything that's been happening. So I've got things like weather much better, beautiful walk by the river and mill, lovely, finish some accounts, lots of emails. So again, just really nice to have that whole month documented there. Behind here I have my YouTube tracker of so when I filmed, the video's been edited and I've released it. The same with my blog and free printables. And then this is my mood tracker for the month. All of the printables I use in here are available on Patreon and also in my shop. And I really like this. It's useful to be able to see whether things are going in not the right direction or whether there's any patterns each month. So again, just a really good visual representation of how I've been feeling during that month. Behind here is my Patreon plan. I try and post on Patreon at least 5 times a week, so I have key content that I want to share here, and then I pencil in when I'm planning to share different content on there, so whether it's videos, photos, anything like that, or releasing new challenges. So I use that just to make sure I stay on track with everything with Patreon. Behind that, I get into my weekly and daily spreads, and I think all of the washi tape that I've used is from London Gifties, and this one is actually part of my product range with London Gifties. So that's my designs, and I'll leave everything linked in the video description box down below. So this stays the same each week, so events, things that I've got coming up, Zoom calls, video releases, anything like that. I also write my top 3, so the things I really want to focus on every day. I'm lucky enough to have lots on the go and I really enjoy that, but it can still be overwhelming at times. So I try and make sure that I've got my main things that I want to focus on here. And then this is my tasks for the week, everything I'd like to try and get done. Anything which I don't get done and has got to move to the next week, or if I know there's things coming up the following week, I'll write them in there right at the beginning of the week so that I'm bearing in mind if I get any free time that I can use those to start getting ready for it. And then a little review at the end of the week. And then with my daily tasks, I keep it nice and simple, and I just use as much space as I need to write down everything that I want to get done. So if it's got a circle, I do an open circle first of all, if it's something that is time specific, and then I'll colour it in once that action has happened. And then when I've completed a task, it always has an X. If I've started something like here, it will just have one line in it, and it will then end up sort of in the next, written down the next day as well. If there's things I haven't got to, I put a forward arrow to move them to the next day, or a backward arrow if I'm going to move them back onto my main task list to tackle at another time. And that helps to keep me really organised. And then my other plans for the next few weeks are following exactly that same format. And these are always really full pages with lots on the go. So that brings us to this week. So I'm filming this on Tuesday the 21st, so I've got the fact that I wanted to do some Bujo filming and that I've got a video going out today, and then this evening I will write down my top 3 tasks for tomorrow from off of this list. And then you can see here again my daily task list so far. And I'm nearly at the end of this bullet journal and knew I wouldn't fit another month in. In one of my previous videos, I mentioned that I might swap into a different type of journal for my bullet journal because I've been using the Rodeo Gold books for so long that I perhaps fancied a change. But I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. So I did buy it in a different colour. I think the last 6 I've used have been in that lovely lilac colour, but I went for this lovely yellow. I bought this from Colt Pens. I just love the Rodeo Gold books. The paper quality is really nice. It's got a vellum coating on it. And one of the things I find particularly helpful is having this undated calendar right at the front, because it means that I can plan out 6 months, well actually 12 months worth of deadlines of anything that's coming up, so that I know it's never going to be forgotten. So when I then set it up for July, I already had main dates in there I needed to be aware of. So this is my setup for July, again using my printables. I was really pleased with this actually, it's one of my favourite colour combinations. And at the moment I've just penciled in lots of things because I'm not entirely sure when they're going to be happening, but at least I know they're there. And I will fill out all of this with my main tasks and details just before the month begins, but I like to have it all set up way in advance so that I don't get to the beginning of the month and realise that I'm behind, because I rely on this so much. So again, all of the same monthly pages, all ready to use. The only things that I've added in here now, because I'm not onto the weekly planning for July yet, is I want to have a bit more of a focus on my health for this next 6 months of the year. So I've got my weight tracker and blood pressure results in here. I've also got tons of online classes I want to take on Skillshare, Creative Bug, and also I've got access to all of the classes from Creative Retreat, which I'm working through, and also from Workshop Week. So I've just made notes of the classes that I really want to take and haven't taken yet, in the hope that over the next 6 months I can start working through those. Oh, and I've also transferred over from my old bullet journal requests that I've had on Patreon for different printables, bundles, tutorials, videos, and that sort of thing. So I really hope that you found that helpful. As I mentioned, I do know they're quite similar each month, but I really hope you enjoyed it. And as always, I want to say a massive thank you to everybody who's joined me over on Patreon. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I look forward to speaking with you really soon in my next video.